I can't hear you. Maybe you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, we hear you. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving me this opportunity to speak about this so that I can purify myself. And I seek blessings of all of the Vaishnavis, and I pray to my Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, so that whatever I speak is pleasing to Lord and it purifies me and it is beneficial for everybody. So thank you so much. And so I would like to share my screen also, Mataji. Mm, okay. So I'll start with Mangalacharan. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वप्तान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् okay. So our topic is false ego. It is our constant shelter and troublemaker. So, first of all, let us understand what is false ego and how it is affecting us. So, false ego is the subtle part of our subtle body, and so we all know that soul is covered by gross body, which is made up of 5 elements, and then subtle body comprises of mind, intelligence, and false ego. And at the time of death, body is taken, soul transmigrates to the next body, and the subtle body accompanies us. And from many lifetimes, it is accompanying the soul. And we can actually thank Krishna that he allows us to forget our previous lifetimes, because if we would have remembered our previous lifetimes, so we would have been so much confused, because in one lifetime we have to deal with so many set of upadhis or set of false designations which we identify. And so imagine if previous life designations also we would have remembered, so it would be so bewildering, and it would have drive us crazy. And even though this subtle body we carry, so we, in a subtle body, we basically uh, remember all the events, but yes, impressions are still there. Impressions of past experiences from past lifetimes are still there. And false ego, it starts when we are very small child. So like a small child, when somebody comes, so he's very interested in displaying all his toys, because he wanted to show that how special he is. And as living entity grows, this layer of false ego, it becomes thicker and thicker. And all these false identifications, like I am a girl, I am a student, I'm a doctor, I am good, I am this, I am that, so we are accepting through uh, through our lifetime. So basically, false ego means thinking to be something which we are not. So these false designations are the roles we might be playing, like a mother, father, teacher, son, daughter, but actually it is not our identity. And we can compare it to like different hats we may be wearing at different times. So we are not these hats. So, but these roles give us so much satisfaction and sense gratification that we become attached to them and they become dear to us, and we start enjoying in them to a great extent. Additionally, the false ego makes us imagine our self worth, our net worth is our talents, our treasures, our positions, our connections, and it impels us to overtly or covertly display our assets before the world uh, in a way so that we have a desperate hope to earn respect. And when we don't get respect, we feel humiliated, and actually this humiliation is nothing but our false ego being frustrated. So becoming a devotee doesn't put an end to it, and we continue in it. In bhakti also we carry these designations like I'm a brahmachari, I'm a grahastha, I'm president, I'm pujari, I'm sankirtan leader, etc., etc. And being a devotee doesn't mean that we are not subject to it. So we can contemplate, we can do a exercise in our mind, like among all of these hats, which hat is important to us and which hat is giving us more pleasure. So the hat which is giving us more pleasure, we identify with it the most because it gives us little fame, glorification, and recognition. And this material world is like a madhouse, and living entity comes in a madhouse and they imagine they are something which they are not. And so everybody is acting to be something which they are not, because we all know that jivera swarup hoye krishnera nitya das. And in one lecture, so Devki Mataji, she was telling that Prabhupada uh, gives a nice analogy, and he compares this material world to a nonsensical stage performance. A nonsensical stage performance, we can imagine that every lifetime to be a scene on the stage, and like people are running here and there and doing so many things, and then with death the curtain is closed, and then again next nonsensical performance starts with some other body in some other country, some other role, and again curtain opening, and we are again busy with so many we think so-called important things, and again it's going on and on. And at the time of death we actually get a little glimpse of uh, all this, and death means the curtain is closed. So the root cause of this false ego is that we are imagining something which we are not. So in 10th canto, 25th chapter, 17th verse, so Krishna says that na hi sadbhava yukta nam sura namesha vishmaya mato satam manabhanga prashmayopakalpate. So basically, man or false prestige. So false prestige is because of false ego only. So this is certainly an anxiety-ridden burden for the conditioned soul. A falsely proud person is not truly peaceful or satisfied because his understanding of himself is false and inflated. When a servant of Lord becomes asat or irreligious, the Lord saves him from impiety by breaking the false prestige that has led him to be offensive or sinful. So this I've taken from the purport of this verse. So a falsely proud person here is said that is never satisfied because his understanding of himself is false and inflated. And Krishna, he is always breaking our false ego, false prestige. So basically, this verse is in regard to when Krishna lifts Govardhan because Indra was sending all the rains and all. So as I told that root cause of false ego is sorry, the basically because of false ego we feel so much anxiety and we imagine something which we are not. And so when we imagine something which we are not, actually this brings a lot of anxiety. And I can give an example. For example, in a king's court, there is a servant, and one day he starts claiming that he is a king. And so he will be under a lot of stress, anxiety, because he has to make everybody believe that he is a king. And he has so much fear that what if somebody finds out he is not a king? And if if he himself find out that he is not a king, so he will be in anxiety, but still he will get relief. Oh, because he will come to his original position of a servant, and it will relieve him. So the person under the demand of false ego, persons, they're never peaceful. And this is from Bhagavad Gita 1858. So, Matchitta sarva durgani mat prasada tarishyasi atha chetvam ahankaran nash nashroyasi vinakshyasi. So here Krishna says, if you become conscious of me, you will pass all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. However, if you do not work in such consciousness but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. So basically, Krishna is giving us two choices here. Either we can work under his guidance and work in consciousness of him as servants of him, and then by his grace we will cross all the obstacles. So basically it means that okay, what is our motivating force behind it? So basically first choice is either we work under his guidance, and second choice is, however, if we don't work under this consciousness, then he says you will be lost. So it means that basically our motivating force is that behind any our effort endeavor is that our false ego. So when, like, I am this, I am that, are all false identities. And if our motivating force is our false ego, then we can't hear and understand Krishna, and then we are lost. And uh, we face so many miseries, entanglement. So basically it's just the behind any endeavor we have to check what is our motivating force. And we also, if we go back in our life, we see whenever we were feeling miserable, entangled, so it means we were acting through our false ego only. And between these choices there are so many mixers, spectrums, but the essence is what our motivation is. Our motivation should be to please Krishna. And very easily we can completely miss our targets, and we can do the opposite. And we can massage our ego instead of dissolving and giving it up, because it requires deep introspection. So basically we have heard that in Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavatam, that uncontrolled mind is our main enemy. But mind, intelligence, and false ego, it all affects each other. Mind gathers all the sense gratification and then accepts and rejects. And like, I like this, I don't like this, and it affects our intelligence and false ego. So false ego is a very subtle part of our subtle body, so we can easily miss it, and we can really say that it's like a separate entity which is always whispering in our ears some nonsense, like, you are so special, you are right, everybody is wrong, and nobody understands you, so let everybody understand you, you have the best idea. So basically, our ego, it pushes us to get gratification or pleasure, and so when we fulfill those demands, so we are again entangled. So false ego, it uses our mind and intelligence, and when we are chanting also, so our false ego is pushing us. It's using our mind and intelligence to gratify and to get some pleasure, because when we are chanting, we are thinking, so many thoughts are coming to mind, like, even 3 years back, if something had happened, that will also, we will remember that, and we'll feel that anger or grief and something, and we feel like, oh, I should have said this, and next time if I meet that person, I will say this and that. So this is all because of our false ego, and it is giving us many inner battles, anxieties, tensions, torture. It is torturing us. So I'm sure everybody is having this experience. So this is the effect of false ego, and it is just simply harassing us to get the gratification, and it is the root cause of all the conflicts, tensions, misunderstandings, and most of the time we don't even realize that why we are feeling miserable, why this is happening to me. And if we really want to go back to Godhead, then we have to dissolve and subdue this false ego. Because ego will be there, just when false ego will be dissolved, our real ego, which is we are the parts and parcel of Krishna, servants of Krishna, it will manifest. So we will discuss how to subdue it in some time. So basically, we measure success in external ways, like things we are achieving, and what is our position, and so real criteria, if we talk in terms of bhakti, real criteria of success is how much internal work we have to do for this false ego. So the more it is prominent, more it is blocking our intelligence, and we can't see the problems. And more we are purified, we realize how subtle this false ego is, and this false ego is pushing me and trying to be right and get the credit, and we can see how it is working in our life. So in a lecture by His Holiness Bhakti Vigyan Goswami Maharaj, he was telling about the 3 aspects of false ego. So he was saying that he was quoting from Upanishad, and he was saying that Upanishad says that basically spirit soul is asanga. It means it is not really connected with matter, and it has nothing to do with matter. But we see how strong our relationships to this, how attached we are to to these material relationships or a body, and it's really difficult for us to get free. So point here is that we are already free, and we are really not connected, and all these conceptions we feel is really illusion. So basically, he was telling about verses from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Krishna was explaining to Uddhava about how soul is not really connected to the body, but nevertheless it feels connected to the body. So he was telling about what is the nature of this connection. So Krishna says that the soul is witnessing all the emotions which is in our mind, and emotions means energy in motion. And emotions are very strong dynamic force. Emotions of anger, fear, grief. We we become completely overwhelmed by these emotions, and these are such strong forces that it carries away our consciousness. So three aspects of false ego. So first is the kartatva, which means identification with the body, and I think I am the doer. So basically, it means the ability to act within the material nature. So identification with the doership, it is the first aspect. And Lord gives an example where a boat is moving in the river and we see the trees, and all the trees appears to be moving, but actually they are not moving, they are standing still. Only we in the boat are moving. So basically we transform on the quality of action into something which is not acting, and because there is some disconnection because of illusion, we are moving, and we so basically we are the soul assumes the qualities of the action of the body. So basically the agency of body and material nature, they are doing things, and the soul is identifying with that, and he is thinking himself to be the doer. And so because of this we feel, oh, I am successful, I am failure, I am achiever of success, and I am sufferer, I am enjoyer. And so Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Prakriti Kriya Manani Guna Karmani Sarvashaha Ahankara Vimudatma Karta Hamiti Manyate. That the spirit soul is bewildered by the influence of false ego, and he thinks himself the doer of the activities that are actually carried out by the three modes of material nature. So, and the second aspect of the this false ego is karanyatva, which means so I'll explain it with an example. So for example, if we are rotating our head like this, and our eyes are also moving, and after some time if we stop, we feel like earth is also moving, but actually this is not so. Another example is if like somebody becomes possessed by a ghost, so he start manifesting different qualities, and we look at him and we think this is the quality of that person, but perhaps that is not the quality of that person, that is the quality of the ghost. So this second aspect of false ego, basically we are identifying with our qualities of mind. And first aspect was I think myself as I am doer. Second is I am second identification is how I think about myself and others. So basically identifying with the qualities of the mind, like I'm a very kind person, I'm generous, I'm cruel, strong person, I'm this, I'm that, and we always attribute different qualities we have. So the qualities of our mind, and this becomes like a chain. What we keep us telling to us, we become bound by that. And so like if somebody continuously keeps on saying, oh, I'm a very sad person, and if you repeat it number of times, so so it so it will be really difficult to break free from that quality, and you will always feel sad, and you will see the world also through the lens of that quality. So but actually we are not these qualities. We are pure spirit soul, and everyone is kind, beautiful, amazing, but we have strong identification of these strong mental qualities which we acquire in this material world. We becomes bad, greedy, joyful, enthusiastic, and because of all this illusion. And we also see the world through these qualities only. So Lord Krishna is saying in this chapter that basically uh, what we are seeing or interacting, we are basically reinforcing. Uh, we basically reinforce by seeing or interacting with with the world through the qualities. We are reinforcing a false ego by what we are seeing, what we are interacting in this material world, and as much as we are interacting with the material world through the quality of, like, I am a doer and I am a achiever, I am this, I am that, I am nice, I am bad, I am sad, everybody is mistreating me, just look at me, love me. So more we are reinforcing our false ego. So either we become a hero or achiever, or second is we become a victim. So becoming victim is more easy, because then point out, oh, look how beautifully I am suffering and how bad people are. So this is another aspect of false ego. So Krishna is saying that when we are interacting with these qualities, we are reinforcing our false ego, and we become like this. We become stingy, angry, sad person. We cannot break free. And these two examples, so they are explained in 11th canto, 22nd chapter, verse number 54 and 55. So third example he is giving in the next verse, which is in the verse 56, which is the experiencing capacity, bhoktritva. So sometimes in a dream we suffer, and but when we wake up in reality, then we see, oh, we are lying in a cozy bed in a nice room, but still those impressions are lingering in our mind, and mind may be in turmoil because it is still feeling those emotions, and a person may be suffering. So so again, by what is going on in the mind, Krishna elaborates by giving three examples that our false ego is the activity of body with the qualities of mind, and identifying with the experience of the body. So whatever the body is experiencing or suffering or enjoying, mind is experiencing or identifying with it, and it says, yeah, it is me. So therefore, these three examples are important to understand the working of the false ego, and how we falsely identify, and it binds us to the material world. And then in verse number 58 and 59, so Lord is saying that one has to very much understand the game of this mind and the false ego, and one has to interact with the material world in such a way that it weakens and destroys our false identity. So all the karmic program, so what astrologers are telling, is basically a program of this false ego only, which is sum total of all did during traveling in this material world. And we are basically enacting this program in different ways and displaying all the qualities, and we are getting entangled because karma is a vicious cycle. So I have the false identity, I strengthen this false identity, I basically reconfirm this every day, every minute of my life, and I like this, yes, I am suffering, yes, this is me. So So Krishna is saying that we can break free from this vicious cycle uh, by behaving in a way, so that by behaving or interacting with people of this material world and with the events of our life in such a way that it destroys our false ego. And then in 58 and 59 verse, he tells that even though neglected, insulted, ridiculed, or envied by bad, ignorant men, or even though repeatedly agitated by being beaten, tied up, or deprived of one's occupation, spat upon, polluted, or with urine by ignorant people, one desires the highest goal in the life in spite of all these difficulties, use his intelligence to keep himself safe on the spiritual platform. I know this is a very high standard he is giving, and we will talk about this little bit further. So basically, what he wants to say that uh, what I am understanding is that at my level, what we can, if I talk about my level, so what I understand is that instead of like whatever is happening, whatever circumstances, situations are occurring in the life. So instead of rejecting or revolting against them, or instead of revolting against God, we should embrace them. We can embrace them only if we can surrender to the Lord. We can see those circumstances as given and sanctioned by Lord just to purify us. And we can use every opportunity to keep ourselves on the spiritual path. So acceptance here plays a very important role. Like acceptance, like accepting the Lord's will is very important. Acceptance is empowering because it enables us to direct our energy constructively, because acceptance means that whatever the energy is, whatever energy is our energy is going to be uselessly directed, we stop doing that. So acceptance means not pressing the brakes heavily and just releasing the brakes so that our car of life can move forward, and not investing our energy into so much resentment and refusal to accept. So we can, by accepting the Lord wills, we can again get up, and again we can be ready to fight another battle. So I'll talk about this in some time in more details. So like I told, our false ego, it is very dear to us, and and we have seen how troublesome it is to us, and it is our constant shelter. So, like devotees, they focus on minimizing eating, mating, sleeping, defending, because all these are animal propensities. So, as a devotees, we always tries to minimize them. But when we talk about defending, so basically it's not about defending the gross body. So it's basically about defending our subtle body. So it means basically we are always defending our false ego very nicely almost every day. And almost every day Krishna is giving us opportunity to let go our false ego, but we defend, we answer back, no, it was not me. And we are so much defending and protecting our ego because it is so dear to us, and we constantly protect it, and we always wanted to be right till the last word, and even if we are wrong, then also we want to be fight. So we can see married life is a battlefield for false ego, because so much energy is wasted in who is wrong, who is right. And instead of giving up the false ego in these situations, we subdue it, we just protect it. And when somebody comes up in a false ego mood talking to us, then immediately our ego also flares up, and our egos are like ping pong balls bouncing forward and backward. So this false ego is very contagious. Sometimes we feel, oh, I am not like that, and after talking to somebody we feel agitated. So it's very contagious. So, and classic example is a traffic jam in India where people are shouting, even they go to extreme, they come out of the vehicle and they start beating each other because of this false ego. and all the debates we see, they are also false ego, because people don't want to humbly find out the truth. They think that I want to give an answer and I can't live like this, and they get sucked in this whole ego battle. And when we get sucked in this whole ego battle, we feel nasty, ugly inside our heart, and it can take a lot of time to shake it off. It can take hours, days, or years. So it's highly contaminating. And so, how to get rid of this false ego? So basically, uh, there are two tracks which we have to follow. The first track is obviously our devotional service, the process of chanting, smaran, kirtan, shravan, all these things which we devotees are doing. And this also requires us a second track, which we have to work on it simultaneously, because even though we may attend so many retreats and so many things, but still we can maintain our ego behaviors, and we can we can be being pushed or motivated by false ego every time, and we can contaminate ourselves. So it's like a elephant taking bath. So like we are chanting. So we are chanting. It means we are taking bath. But because we are stuck in these false ego patterns, so we again contaminate. Like a elephant, he takes bath, then again he puts dirts on himself. So now this second track which I am talking about is the Vaishnava etiquette, or we can call it Vaishnava culture. So this is really our saving grace, and we will we discover that this spiritual culture is designed to subdue and dissolve our false ego, whereas materialistic culture is designed to just flare up our ego. So basically, there are two tracks. So, like I told, one, yes, devotional service, 9 processes of bhakti we have to do, but then to help this deep rooted conditioning, then we have to follow this Vaishnava culture also. So this is like crutches on which we can move forward and gradually establish our non-ego behavior. So this Vaishnava culture, it helps us establish. Basically, it helps us to get rid of our ego patterns or behaviors. So first practical tool in this Vaishnava culture is that devotee never defends himself, and devotee only defends Guru, Krishna, or other Vaishnavas, but not himself. So it means when we are defending, all this is so subtle that we don't even realize that. So when we are defending ourselves, so we are just defending our false ego only. And therefore, as our devotees, we don't want to defend our false ego, and it's really difficult and challenging for devotees. So Mataji, she was telling in a lecture that even if Guru does not know full picture, the Vaishnava mood is, and if somebody has been wrongly accused, Vaishnava mood is that he should say that, okay, let me accept this opportunity uh, just to simply give up my false ego. It is difficult, it is painful, because tongue has a strong urge to defend and strong urge to speak. So because we can think like that, most of the time we have been uh, behaving uh, so much of nonsense, and so what if this opportunity we are getting, so we should take it as a opportunity to subdue our false ego, and this way we should not blame others, and so this way we can help we can help ourselves. And for short time, it may look that we are losers, but if Krishna really want truth to come out, anyhow, truth will be revealed to everybody. So maybe Krishna, it is sanctioned by Krishna only, and he wants us to behave in a way which is not flaring our false ego. So if Krishna wants that, so let that happen. And Mataji was saying that basically in Bhagavad Gita, we know we first chapter they talked about 6 aggressors. So 6 kind of aggressors. First is that first aggressor is who attacks somebody. Second, who gives poison. Third, who attacks with weapons, kidnaps wives, or set house on fire, take the land, plunder. So in these cases, we can defend ourselves, but these don't happen daily. So these are the good reasons where we can defend us, and other things are subtle attacks on a false ego. So we can spiritually win if we don't defend and protect our false ego and let it go by. So for this, we have to bring in us an important quality of tolerance. And it is a very important quality in Krishna consciousness. And it is almost like a criteria for the spiritual strength or advancement. So the person's spiritual strength can be measured by how tolerant that person is, because tolerance means not acting on the pushing of the false ego. Okay. Yeah. Even in the most provocative situations, this verse is from first canto, 18 chapter 48 verse, and it says that the devotees of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge themselves. So basically, that's the Vaishnava mode. Yes, this is a very high standard. And of course, Prahlad Maharaj, Haridas Thakur are the examples. So in fourth canto, okay. In fourth canto, 19th chapter, 34 verse, it says that basically we should remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thoughts. And in Purport also, Prabhupada has advised that one should be more tolerant and instead of becoming agitated. So it's practical that if something is coming to us, as soon as we try to defend, rectify, we get entangled and we get so much anxiety. And at the moment of death also, all these things which are really important to us are completely most things will be completely insignificant. And because most of the matters which are important to us are very temporary, related to our false ego, and they are like nonsensical stage performance, which I talked about, and they have no significance. And 11th canto, 19th chapter, 36 to 39th verse, it also talks about that. It gives the definition of tolerance, that tolerance means to patiently endure unhappiness, such as that provoked by the insults or negligence or of others, neglect, uh, and if we see, like, neglect and insult are very painful to the ego. So tolerance means to endure unhappiness which comes through neglect and insult, and not to defend, not to retaliate or shoot back, but simply let it go by. And it is really difficult for the ego, but if we do some internal work, it's really purifying. And with the mundane eyes, it maybe seems weakness, because we are not fighting for ourselves, etc. Because such, in material terms, success means to fight and have the last word and all that. So, but spiritual point of view, tolerating is a success because it dissolves our false ego. And so tolerance is not about tolerating negative emotions and then building up negative emotions. So it's not bottling up emotions and then one day it's a blast. So if we talk about tolerance, so basically there are two ways of tolerance. So mm, yeah. So there are actually true tolerance means when we take shelter of Krishna and we say, yes, Krishna, I am your servant and that's my eternal reality, and nobody can take that reality, and I have a loving relationship with Krishna. We take refuge in Krishna and think that and our shelter is basically Krishna. So two tools we can I'll tell about two tools basically which will actually help to develop this quality of tolerance. First is humility. So humility is very important for cultivating, and it is linked to forgiveness also, and how we are treating others. And second tool is for faith in Krishna. And without faith in Krishna, we cannot cultivate this tolerance, because we have to take shelter in Krishna, and we have to see the hand of Krishna in every situation, and see that Krishna is trying to teach me something. If we don't have this vision, that why Krishna is giving me this situation which I am facing, so, and he must be trying to teach me something, and so whatever situation we are facing, basically when we see, yes, it is sanctioned by Krishna and it is arranged by Krishna, and it if I take shelter of Krishna, and even though it may be painful, if I take shelter of Krishna, if I pray to Krishna, then Krishna definitely gives us strength. He gives us realization, and through that strength, spiritual strength and realization, we can navigate through that situation, and we can definitely grow out of that situation, because only Krishna knows the whole picture. And so we if we don't see hand of Krishna, then we cannot tolerate, and we will explode and we will be agitated. And so, and if we can't see hand of Krishna, then we can take shelter of relationships. We can take guidance of devotees who are whose interest is our spiritual upliftment, and who are more elevated than us, and to whom we can confidently reveal our heart. Because sometimes our vision is very foggy and we can't see things, so then we can always take help of devotees who have no other interest other than spiritually uplifting, so that will be really helpful. And because without such relationships, we cannot recognize what Krishna is trying to teach me, because false ego is so tricky that it can affect our intelligence to such a degree that intelligence can twist everything around to gratify false ego. And sometimes sometimes we tell to some devotees, or some devotees tell us, oh, look how this situation came, and look how I handled this situation. And then we think, oh my God, uh, if this could be this situation could have been dealt in a more polite way, it would have been better. So basically that is the false ego only. So ego matters are very painful, so we cannot allow everybody to touch them. So only persons we trust them, so then only we can take shelter of them. Also, I heard a seminar in New Vrindavan. So there, Krishna Lila Mataji was saying that we all are so broken that that we have so many paths, and our true self is covered by all those paths, and all those paths have so many needs. So, and those paths are running our basically life. So if somebody didn't get any respect in childhood, so they come in bhakti and they start expecting that, oh my God, they had a very desperate need that I want to be validated, respected, recognized, and they start looking in looking for that in other devotees. But actually it is, those are actually our different paths with different needs. So basically Krishna consciousness is, we start looking on all these paths, and we start recognizing them, and we recognize them, we are aware of them, and we embrace them. Oh, I'm so sorry you felt like that in childhood. I know you need recognition and all, but what if is Krishna not sufficient to recognize you? Is Krishna or my guru, my mother, or my loved ones? They love me. I'm a precious child of Krishna. So are they not sufficient? Why I need validations from everybody? So if in this way we start recognizing all these paths, their different needs, we will address them. So we can really behind them we can see our true self, and then these paths will no longer basically drive our life. So I'm coming to the last part. So how to let go of our ego behavior patterns. So without introspection we cannot we because this false ego is so subtle, so we have to work internally in a very subtle way, and introspection is very important. So without introspection there will be no change, no progress. And because ego makes us believe that I am right and everybody else is wrong. So Krishna consciousness, it looks just like a simple process, but but all these processes externally look simple, but internally they are difficult, because it's all about transforming our heart, and without introspection there can be no change lifetime after lifetime, and we can cheat ourselves. We might think it is Krishna consciousness, we are Krishna conscious, and we can easily miss our targets. So some points I can share. So to remove the ego patterns, so first is, whatever we are struggling with, we should always hear more about those topics, because hearing about those things will make us more conscious, and otherwise there would be no desire to let go of these ego patterns. And Prabhupada says, before becoming Krishna conscious, first become conscious, and conscious of what we are lacking. So we are so unconscious of things that are subtle. So hearing about these things, false ego, so make us more conscious, mindful. And second is desiring to let go of this ego drive or a pattern or of behaviors. So we have so when we hear, so our desires develops in our heart. Oh my God, this is really not doing good to me. So then strong desires develops in our heart. Yes, I have to let it go. Third step is to um, being introspective, looking for the motives, like why I am doing this, what is my motive of saying this. Am I trying to establish my superiority, or am I defending my ego, and or am I trying to be humble servant here, or am I trying to be controller, or am I trying to enjoy or gratify my senses through this seva. So deep introspection is very important, and because without it, it will be really difficult to purify our heart at a certain levels. So fourth step, once we do all these three, fourth step is to catch ourselves doing the wrong thing, because already we are in progress. So at least we start noticing, we start catching ourselves. It doesn't mean that we if we hear, we will not again act in a false ego. But if we act it, and if we act and catch ourselves, so it means already we are in progress. At least we notice, and we could catch ourselves doing wrong. Previously we might have done wrong things many times, but we didn't even notice, and we didn't even realize that this is not good. So it means already we are in progress. So, and then after we catch ourselves, so then there should be some lamentation, that actually we should be crying out to Krishna. Oh dear Krishna, when will that day come when I can finally stop this ego motivations, these ego pushings? Because these uh, false ego is so deep rooted, which we have been carrying from so many lifetimes, that uh, on our own strength, actually we cannot become free of this. So we have to beg Krishna, we have to invite Krishna to do the job. We can pray to Nursing Dev. He's very expert in surgery. With his sharp nails, he had already performed the successful heart surgery of Hiranyakashipu. So we can always pray to Krishna, pray to Nursing Dev. Please come, please help me, please help me let go of this ego patrons. And we can beg Krishna. When we do this kind of internal work, we reflect, we become introspective, we catch ourselves doing the wrong thing, we lament, we call out to Krishna. And as we are doing this kind of internal work, sooner or later we'll catch ourselves doing the right thing. And it really works. So if we agree to do the internal work, it will purify our heart, because false ego is really subtle, and it's our own deep internal processing. And like I told before, that we tend to measure success by external criteria. In bhakti also, we try to measure success. He's a great devotee, big devotee, small devotee, like this. How now, by external criteria, sometimes like how many programs, how big the program, title, position, external achievements. So basically, that all these things doesn't give much indication of what is happening in our heart. So those achievements we can nicely perform without even working on our false ego, and they really don't give deeper indication on how much actually I am purifying my heart. So we have to agree to do this internal work, and then we can make progress. And we have we have to we need sheltering relationships, as I told before also, because we have a foggy vision of ourselves with material desires and attachment. And so we our false ego can twist our intelligence also. So we have to careful, reflect, observe, detect our desires, and we have to try to approve them. So sheltering relationships can are seniors whom we can share our heart with, and whom those who can really help in our spiritual upliftment, and they can really guide us. And when we catch ourselves doing the right thing, so basically it makes us more humble. And then because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says trinadapi sunechana tarorapi sahasnuna. So this humility, uh, more we will not defend ourselves and let devotees or Krishna defend us. So more we will be humble, more we are able to address our internal issues, we are more aware, we can look into more internal work we do. So more humbleness we can get, and so our behavior patterns can change, and we can see Krishna helping us. And we can also feel that how much realization he is giving us, and we can actually feel his presence in our life the more internal work we are doing. So he's whatever situations are coming, so those are just to uproot our false ego tendencies and just to encourage us. And so yeah, I think, thank you so much, I'll stop here. Yeah, if anybody has any feedback or anybody wants to add something, please. And if anybody has question, then our dear Shri Radha Govinda Mataji is an expert. So
No.
thank
Today, Nitya Kishori is going to answer. So I have a comment and a question. So before that, feedback. Um, so this madness, as you just started the talk saying how this false ego is total madness of such false identification for which we put so much anxiety and so much waste of time, etc. And then I was thinking, this madness, what is the opposite of that false ego? Like in one word, and asking myself, like, what is like one word? After this class of yours was when I first saw the title, na, and I thought, our shelter. Like what shelter? And I was like, that's the point, right? That's the point that maybe we deny it, but it's the fact that it is where we go to because that's where we have, like you said, so many lifetimes of samskaras, at one point when you were saying sometimes it takes days, hours and days and months and years, and I was thinking even lifetimes, right? Sometimes even lifetimes to wash it off like that. So and then I really related very much to the way you connected in the way you define tolerance. That was really powerful, the whole point of tolerance. So going back to what does it mean, what's the opposite of false ego? And I was thinking from your class, what I got was it's quite a difficult thing, to face and fight alone, the false ego. And I was just thinking, what is the opposite of false ego? And I thought maybe it's about what Rupa Goswami says, Guhya Makyati Prachati, revealing our minds in confidence on a regular basis with like-minded people probably is the way to detect that false ego, right? So the opposite of false ego would be, you said humility, right? That's what you said. So my question to you is, what would your one word definition or one sentence short definition of opposite of false ego be? That's my question.
so opposite of false ego is uh, servants of Krishna, because that is a real ego, what we are. And on this we have built up so many upadhis, and but foundation is this: we are the we are the part and parcel of Krishna. We are Krishnas. So that is a real ego. Jivera Surup Hoye Krishnera Nitya Das.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I guess it's like, that Chaitanya Radasamui, Chaitanya Radas, Chaitanya Radasamui, Tar Dasira Das. So I guess the opposite of false ego is a right sense of identity, of understanding ourselves as servant of Lord Chaitanya, servant of Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I have another comment. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you were saying about Nrsingadev successfully removed the false ego of Hiranyakashipu. And then he was saying the operation was successful. And then I was like, patient died. The point is, what I wanted to say is a comment that, uh, when we pray to Nrsingadev, we should say, my dear Lord Nrsimha, please operate on me, but gently. Because when we ask the Lord to purify us, so- sometimes as you said, right, the beginning when you started the class, you said, so much, there is so much. And if purification it was to happen right now for me at once, I will die. I will die. So the purification has to happen according to our capacity. And the prayer, there's a comment that we should pray to Nrsingadev, please, with your sharp nails, remove my anarthas gently. Gently, so that I don't leave devotees association, or,
Yeah.
like, for example, I'll tell you one example. One of my mentors, one of my senior Mataji that I take guidance from, she went to Radhanan Maharaj one day and said, "Oh, my child, my daughter is going really like she's off, like she's not really serious, etc. Please pray for her." And Maharaj asked her 3 times, "Are you sure you want me to pray for her? Are you sure you want me
Mhm.
to?" And then finally, yes. And then the next day, the daughter got imprisoned. She went to jail. And so
Oh,
the point was, when we sincerely and seriously pray, the Lord can literally tear open our chest, and so we need to have that
yeah.
capacity. So sometime initially, when we are not ready for great difficulties to dawn upon us, like I keep saying, Kunti Devi
Yeah.
says, na, she says, yeah, please give calamity after calamity. And little headache, we cannot go to Bhagavatam class, we can't do chanting.
Ah, yes,
So,
yes.
sorry?
Yeah, I'm saying yes, Mataji. True.
Just a comment that, like, when we pray, we should add the word gently, gently rectify me, Narasimha.
Mm. Because I have also experienced that sometimes um, some situation is coming, and I feel so much pain. Oh, why it is happening and all. And then once that is gone, and then I can actually see, oh, and I can
Mm.
actually thank Krishna. Thank you, Krishna, for giving this, all the pain, because
Yeah.
with that only my faith strengthened on you. And with that only I was able to navigate. And you gave me such a wonderful realization. Even though initially it seemed to be painful, but oh my God, my faith has gone stronger, and wonderful realization I have got. So yeah, I
Yeah, the
know.
same thing the Mataji also told me. Like, after she went to prison for some time, etc., when she came back from prison, there was a huge transformation.
Wow.
So no, there is no doubt that it is. But sometime I'm just saying we may not be ready to
Yeah.
face that level of pain, and so we might ask the Lord to be gentle with us.
Yeah.
Mm. Thank you so much. It was a very well prepared class, and
Thank you
I
so
felt
much,
very
Mataji.
nourished. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hariva. Anyone else has any other questions or comments?
I just really like the discussion in between you, like whatever both of you agreed upon the things, the opposite of false ego, and maybe praying to Lord that
Yeah.
please be gentle with us. And yeah, thank you,
Thank you.
Mataji. It was another eye opener session.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, everybody, for tolerating me.
I think Kulavati Krishnapriya has a question or a comment.
Yes, I have a comment. I have to say that I really like the presentation, the pictures used, especially the one where so many hats were being placed, and that picture where we put we identify ourselves with so many designations. We identify so much with so many designations that ultimately we develop so many different kinds of personality disorders. So, so I just got that related. So thank you so much for the class. It was very nice. Very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Jai.
I think we can stop here now, Mataji.
Jai. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Kishori Devidasi ki jai. Thank you. Gaura Bhakta.
Radha Govinda Mataji ki jai.
Yeah.
I'm picking